hello. My name's Tessa, and it's Halloween. I think it's like almost 10 o'clock, and I thought I would just continue NonFiction November recommendations. So I'm going to recommend the books that I really love. So let me go grab them. Okay. Oh. Okay. So, whoa, Jesus Christ. I have a lot of books here. And I thought I would go over my favorite ones that I have read so far. Not that they can't change, but yeah. So, numero uno, we have Into Thin Air by John Cracker. This is about his climb of Everest and the disaster that happened. Really great book. Who knew? There's a lot of Everest books out there. This is the only one that I've read, but I've loved it. So, highly recommend. Then we have Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor E. Frankl. The first half of the book, fantastic. The second half of the book, fantastic. The first half is his experiences, and then the second half is more psychological, more analytical, and more of not how to live, but just why it's important to live, your meaning for life. I don't know. I read this when I went on a road trip, and so every night when I would camp, I would read for a little bit, and it was just fantastic to read. So yeah. Okay. Blackout by Candace Owens. I think she could have done a little bit better. I always expect a lot from her. So maybe that's my own personal problem. But this book was pretty good. Especially if you just are maybe you just want to search for information and you're why, just why. You just have the question why. Good place to start. So I liked reading this one. Okay. Then we have The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer. I have a few problems with this book. Some of it just doesn't make sense, but some of it does. And so the stuff that makes sense really makes sense. And yeah, just I read this when I was going to the beach, just sitting there, and it was just a really great beach read, just very enlightening. Is that the right word? Enlightening. It was a good read. So, and then after every chapter, write my own thoughts, and yeah, it was great. Okay, then we have Dumbing Us Down by John Taylor Gatto. This is about the education system. There's no notes. Very much just his experiences, his opinions, and his thoughts, and I'd say it's pretty well done. The hidden curriculum of compulsory schooling. It's kind of interesting, how public schooling started. I had no idea. Surprise, surprise. But yeah, it wasn't a thing. It was more of an elite rich thing, and then it started to become mandatory, but in a way to separate the child from the parent. Maybe that's a conspiracy, I don't know. This is the only thing I've like read about this, really. So but for what it's worth, I liked it, I enjoyed it. It was eye-opening, and more than anything, it sparked like wanting to know more. So there's that. Okay, so A Hunter-Gatherer's Guide to the 21st Century by Heather Hine and Britt Weinstein. Oh God, I'm so sorry. I never can remember how to pronounce that correctly. But it's not the, it's the different pronunciation. This was pretty good. I listened to this on audiobook, and so I'd listen it to and from work, and I like their podcasts that they do together, their husband and wife, and they balance each other like impeccably well. And so the book was really good, and I enjoyed it, and like I gifted it to people. But yeah, it takes like that evolutionary lens of like the modern world and kind of their take on it. So I thought it was very balanced, very level-headed, very agreeable, and I really liked the end parts of the chapter because they really made you think more, like, and ask questions, and really got your mind gears moving. So I like that. Okay. Ooh. And then we have Intellectuals and Race by Thomas Sowell. Let me adjust my position here. By the way, I am Lydia Dietz from Beetlejuice. I don't have the hair exactly. I look more like the lady from Tim Burton's wife, Helena. The last name starts with a B. Okay, but yes, very in that niche. Okay, sorry, sidetracked. Intellectuals Race by Thomas and Sowell. This is like his smallest, thinnest book, which was great for an introduction to him. I think the hardest chapter for me to understand was the chapter about IQ and intelligence. Okay. But overall, like a really great read, a really great introduction to him, and he just goes over, very much about like the elitist class. There's cars honking. It's Halloween. But yeah, and like, not like a trickle-down effect, but like, very academia educated people and kind of how they think and the connections to race, and like just, it's a really great book. The notes were great. I mean, it's really well researched. I mean, if you're looking for something that is just evidence up the wazoo, if you want every little thing you're wondering, like, how do you know that? Like, how do you know that? How do you know that? How do you know? Every time he's got a note. Every time you wonder, like, where the fuck did you get that information from? He's got a note. So, love that about him. Okay. Then we have The Right Side of History by Mr. Ben Shapiro. How Reason and Moral Purpose Made the West Great. This book might be my favorite out of all of them, just because it does go into the kind of history and the development of the West. And so if you live in the West, I live in America, the US of A, the only 3 letters of the alphabet you need to know. I'm kidding. But, yeah, he really goes into, like, kind of how we got to how we are today, kind of thinking-wise, philosophical-wise, philosophical, just all that jazz. Really great. You know, has all the names in there. Just like, if you're curious, if you're wondering how we got where we are today, that's the book for you. It was a really great read. Okay. And then we have Israel by Noah Tishby. A Simple Guide to the Most Misunderstood Country on Earth. Loved this book. I think I read this in a few days. I stayed up late at night reading it. It was like when, as soon as this book was released, I grabbed it. Because I think it was around the time when Hamas shot all those 3,000 rockets into Israel. And crazy time. So I marked a lot of it. You can't see it, but I marked it. And just if you need an introduction about Israel, that's the book for you. Lots and lots about the history and a little bit of our own life, and makes it really personable. And I really liked it. So, really good. Okay, and the last book here that's on my favorite shelf that I'm going to share with you that are my favorites, though it might be changing next year because I will be going through all the books that I've read in 2020 and doing some adjustments, maybe. But so the last book is 12 Rules for Life by Jordan B. Peterson. An Antidote to Chaos. Fantastic book. I think I took 3 years to read this. Adjustment again. I gotta move. So, he is just a smart dude. Really smart, very passionate, and it comes across in his books and his writing. This was really good to read, and if you're just looking for a little encouragement in life, a little guidance, a little self-improvement, I don't know how much I need to talk him up. I feel like he's pretty well known, but this book really is amazing. It's more than self-help. It's self-guidance, and there is a difference. So those are my books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, well, dang, 10. 10. That's a great number. So those are my 10 favorites and recommendations for NonFiction November. I hope you enjoyed, and happy Halloween. See you in November.